Have you ever sat down to set up Google Ads for your roofing or renovation company and then thought to yourself, well, hang on, how do I even know if there's enough people searching for what I do in my area? Like, am I going to spend $2,000, $3,000 a month going after 10 people? If that sounds familiar, then this video is for you. Hi, I'm Nick. I run a Google Ads agency called Blue Light. We work specifically with roofing and renovation companies. I work with real budgets, real accounts, real businesses every single day, so I can point you in the right direction. So before you spend a single dollar on Google Ads, there's a tool that you can use, and that tool is by Google itself, and it's called the Keyword Planner. And the Keyword Planner is going to give you a pretty decent assessment of how many searches there are that you can target, how to target them, and also how many leads you can expect from your campaign. So before you invest, you can do a forecast and plan accordingly. So follow along, because I'm about to show you how to use the Keyword Planner, what some hidden gotchas are, and how to get the most out of your forecast. Now, before we jump in, if you would like for me to look at your website, look at your Google Ads account, help you run the numbers, I'm most happy to do so. Just follow the link in the description and book a call with me. Okay, let's jump in. So if we head over to our Google Ads account, we're going to do a forecast for a sheet metal company that offers a quite comprehensive range of sheet metal related services. To get started, we're going to jump into the Google Ads account. Okay, once we're inside, we can go under planning and go to Keyword Planner. Now, in the Keyword Planner, we have three different ways in how we can use the tool. So number one is we can click on Get Search Volume and Forecasts, and that will give us a field to enter all the keywords that we want to try to target. So if you already know what kind of keywords you want to go after, this is a very helpful option. But there's a simpler way to do it. If we go to Discover New Keywords, we can simply enter the services or the products that we're selling. Now, an even better way to get started is to enter your website. Now, very important, we've got the correct country set, which is New Zealand, for this type of business. And then we have the option of using only the homepage or using the entire site. And more often than not, you will have different services sitting under different pages on your site. So make sure to select entire site for this option. Cool. So after a quick scan, we can see that there's 1,217 keywords available to us. Now, let's jump in and look at some of those keywords. So we've got sandblasting, sheet metal, stainless steel sheet, sandblaster, steel fabrication, sheet metal, TIG welding, mobile welding, soda blaster, MIG welding, metal handrails, and so on and so forth. So what I can see immediately is that it's actually done a pretty good job of scanning the entire website and fetching the correct details. So the first thing I look at is, are the keywords that Google found relevant to me? The next thing that I look at is the average monthly searches. And if I click on them, I can filter by search volume, and I can see that welding has the highest demand. There's about 2,400 searching just for MIG welding. And second up would be the sandblasting related services. And then we've got the more general sheet metal related keywords. So that gives me a pretty good idea in terms of demand, how many people are searching for what I offer. And then the cutoff that I would look at is sitting at about 10 keywords per month. So you need to have 10 searches per month in order for us to be able to target those people. Otherwise, Google doesn't really accept it. Okay, there's some secondary metrics around 3 months change. So there's an increase, for example, in people searching, year over year change, and a very broad indicator of competitiveness. So I can see the top 3 have a very high competition. The next one has a low competition, then high and medium. So I can see how many advertisers are going after these keywords. And the next one is top of the page, high range and low range. So 50 cents and $1.60, or another one would be 11 cents to $2. So that gives me an idea of how much other people are paying for each click for that specific keyword. That's a really important metric, and it's also decisive in understanding how many leads can we get from that traffic. Okay, so to keep it simple, I'm going to select all the keywords by selecting over here, and I can click select all 1,200 and then click add keywords to create plan. After I've added them to the plan, I can go and click on forecast and click all saved keywords. Cool. So we have to wait a little bit for it to load, and when it's finished loading, what we get is your plan can get 44 conversions for $1,100 with a $37 average daily budget. Very, very cool. So that gives us an estimate. $1,000 is going to get us roughly 44 conversions or 44 leads. So I want to break down each of these metrics one by one and give you a bit of an idea on what these numbers mean. So the most important one is 44 conversions, and a conversion is any form of lead, which is either a phone call or a contact form submission or a direct email coming from your Google Ads through your website. 1,100 New Zealand dollars is the budget, and 37 is just the same budget on a daily basis. Now, the next thing that is quite interesting to look at is what's the average CPC that we would get for all these keywords. So the average cost per click is $1.45. So that's sitting in the lower range. So that means there's not too many advertisers that are bidding on my keywords. The next assumption that it makes here is the click-through rate. So it's going to assume that we've got well-written ads. So about 8% of the people who see our ads are going to click through to them. Impressions tells me how many people are going to see our ads. So about 10,000 people is how much we can target. And so 10,000 people, about 8% of them click on our ads. We're going to get 773 clicks on our ads. Cool. So the final metric, it's the smallest one, but it's a rather important one. Of those 773 people that we can bring to our website, Google assumes that we're going to convert 5.6% into inquiries. And so 773 multiplied by a 5% conversion or inquiry rate is going to result in those 44 leads that we see in the very first column. Now, a really important thing to keep in mind is that the conversion rate is something that's estimated, and we can set our own conversion rate. So that's something that you don't know in month one, and it largely comes down to how good your website performs. Is it well designed? Is the offer clear? Is it easy to get in touch with you? Those are all things that impact your conversion rate. So in month one, you don't really have any metric, so I can give you some baseline. So typically most websites sit around between 1 to 3%. And if we run those numbers again at 3%, you would only get 23 conversions. So Google's being quite optimistic here. But if your website, if the service you provide is quite urgent, you know that a lot of people convert, and your website is well optimized and sitting at the higher end of the conversion range, and we convert 10% of our website visitors, then you can get about 78 people from that same traffic. So as you can see, there's roughly the same amount of clicks coming through, but now you're getting 78 leads. For now, we can revert to the 5% and stick to it. So the rule of thumb here is the more keywords you add, the better the forecast is going to be, because all keywords have different cost per clicks. There's different amount of advertisers bidding on them, and You want to take into account as much input data as you can provide to the forecasting tool, and then the better your input, the better your output. Very simple. I hope this was insightful and helpful to you. If you ever want to do this exercise yourself and check how many leads could you be getting from Google Ads. Now, if you want an extra set of eyes to look over your account and help you out and run the numbers for you, please use the link in the description to reach out, and I'll be happy to help you. Have a great day.